In 1984, the California State Library launched the first and largest state-funded library literacy program in the nation. The goal? To support the learning journey of millions of California adults who struggled with reading and writing. Throughout this 40-year history, library literacy staff has worked together to develop the mission and hone the core values and program essentials that form California Library Literacy Services. This film highlights those key values with the words of those who make it what it is today.
One of my first students 40 years ago was my mother. One of the greatest things that I was able to share with my mom after she had given me everything was to be able to give her literacy. I had my tutor, one-on-one, helped me a lot. And from there, so I started in the community college and then get my IT credential. And now I'm able to help the community by being myself and show the learners that if I can do it, they can do it as well.
I get the pleasure to help people to become independent.
I started as a tutor myself and saw that impact that I had on my learner, but more what the impact they had on me. And growing into the role as a coordinator, I've just seen that expand.
I feel like I'm part of a community and part of serving the community, which has always been important to me.
California Library Literacy Services is a program based in the library, and more so, it is a core library service. It fulfills the mission of the public library as an institution of lifelong learning, of inclusion, equity, and diversity.
Literacy is more than just a noble cause. Literacy skills are essential skills. They're a basic human right.
We really want to make sure that we're providing resources and meeting the mission of the library, right? So if there is a huge segment of the population that can't access resources, then it follows naturally that maybe the library should be the one to help people be able to access those resources. And I think that it's a big aspect of creating equity.
The library helps adults that are at very low literacy levels achieve those reading and writing goals so that they can then help their children with homework. They can read a book to their child, they can understand health education information, and they can go to school themselves. By sharing our story and getting the message out that we are essential, we're an essential service. Together, our community has made it a core service.
What we're trying to do is create learning environments that are inclusive for everyone. We want every single person that walks through the doors of our program to start on a level playing field.
People are coming into the library and coming out with jobs, or people are coming out into the library and being able to read a book to their child. All those are such great, tangible stories, and they just make the library what it is.
California Library Literacy Services is learner-driven, and if a program is to be learner-driven, then learners must have a strong voice to express their goals and take leadership in their learning experience.
Since my kids were babies, I took them to the Napa Library, so I saw the newsletter from the literacy program, and I wonder when I will take my own time to start, enjoy the program. My family, they see me like an example and give inspiration to them.
When I meet with the learners for the first time, I tell them that our program is different than a school. At a school, everybody learns the same thing, but in our program, the learners tell us what they want to learn. When the learners hear that our program is learner-driven or learner-centered, and they get a say in what they learn, then they look a little brighter, a little bit more excited about the possibilities.
Goals distinguish our programs too from other types of programs which might be curriculum-based. It's at the center of the tutoring. It's central to the learners' lives when they identify the goals that are important to them, what they want to accomplish, the things that brought them into the program at this time.
I'm originally from Africa. Before moving here, I had no formal education, so I never went to school, nothing. So me and my family were in the war. So with that, we didn't have a chance to get any education, right? We were just trying to survive in refugee camps and stuff. So when we moved here, I got thrown into the school system, not knowing English and not knowing how to read and write. My parents didn't know anything. For me, was just the first thing was like, I need to learn how to speak English because I was getting bullied. And for me, it was like, okay, learn English and everything will come. It's very difficult because nobody really knew that I struggled with literacy. I know there are so many adult learners who are struggling silently, thinking negative about themselves, not telling their family, their loved ones don't know that they're struggling with it. So for me, it was like, maybe I could be that bridge and I can help these adult learners by sharing my story and for them to take the step to getting the help that they need, you know? A lot of adult learners don't know this program is available to them.
It's not people without potential. It's people, we're not giving them anything they don't have in them already. We're just helping them unlock it.
We've had learners that have led book clubs, specifically our beginning book club. We've had learners use their voice and be involved in civic engagement, going to city council meetings, coming to outreach events, really sharing their story and the impact of the program on their lives.
The whole process of having a learner becoming a volunteer, sharing information and their skill set is truly an empowering process for all the other learners in the program. To help yourself is empowering.
California Library Literacy Services is community-focused. It was designed to partner with the community to serve the community.
We cannot do this alone. Building relationships is the key to having good partnerships. I build relationships one-on-one. I go to workforce meetings. I go to adult education meetings. I also have partnerships with people that I know are key to our learners' lives.
My daughter's high school teacher, I went to her and asking her, because I wanted to go back to school. So I was asking her if she can help me search around, and she gave me a listing, and then that's how I got there.
Our community partners, like-minded organizations and individuals who care about the community, want to provide services, want to help transform lives. And our school district, they provide space, allow us to come and sit on their advisory committees. Local universities provide tutors for us. A nonprofit organization that provides naturalization services and document processing. And they send learners to us, we send learners to them, and it just is such a mutually beneficial relationship.
The library honors its role as an active and very involved community member. And one of the ways that we're able to do this is to be an extension or to extend ourselves into the community. We cannot assume that everybody is able to come to the library in and of itself in order to access all of our services. We do provide literacy services on site, but more importantly, we also go out into the community. We provide literacy services at our local homeless shelter, and we've helped many people at the shelter to earn their GEDs or high school diplomas.
California Library Literacy Services is volunteer supported. Volunteers are more than doing, they are being intricately involved in their community in relationship with others. They serve as connectors between their libraries and members of their communities who did not previously use the library.
Oh, my tutor is great. She is really great. She take her time. We spell, we read. I'm most proud of, before I got there, I couldn't spell. Now I can spell. So I'm happy. Yeah.
So she's told me, you can do it, just try. And if you not feel okay, just give it a try again, but don't give up.
I think that we built a good relationship with my tutor. Like I personally thinking Mary as my mom in America, so she really gives me a lot of love and caring.
We refer to our matches with adult learners and volunteer community members as learning partners. We feel that they both learn from each other, and we feel this way because they tell us that the learning is mutual.
I absolutely am just amazed at what they give to the community. Some people have been doing it for 6 months, 6 years, 10 years, and so just to see that is absolutely amazing. It's a beautiful thing to witness.
Seeing learners and tutors learning alongside each other is really powerful, and I think where we need to move as a library literacy program, that we're all learning something and we can do that side by side.
California Library Literacy Services supports families. The underlying concept is that children who are talked to and read to by adults learn to read better. Family literacy makes the intergenerational transfer of literacy skills explicit and helps families thrive.
One time my niece Summer dropped off her daughter Autumn at our house, at my house, to spend the weekend. And Autumn and I pulled every single children's book out. And we read books in bed, and we read books at the table, and we read books all weekend. I told Autumn, get a bag, and we're gonna pack up all the books that you'd like to take with you home so your mom can read them for you. And she said, well, my mom doesn't read to me. I was furious, actually, because here is, I know I read to Summer as a child, and she wasn't reading to her own child. Summer, why are you not doing this? And she said, I don't want to ruin her. Summer did not enjoy school, and she had so many struggles with her own literacy. She was not confident in those skills. They were there and they were basic and they got her by, but she was not confident enough in her literacy skills to read to this child that she adored.
One thing that we like to stress with family literacy is just kind of breaking down those generational patterns in the home, making sure that families have print-rich environments, that the children and the whole family is served, which is also a great value to the community as a whole.
They're smiling, they're having conversations, and they're building these special memories that strengthens their bond and overall enjoyment in learning together as a family. I had one parent tell us that she didn't know of any other safe place to take her child to other than the library.
And then we read the story and we have an activity and we hang out with the parents and we kind of talk about what we do and how we do it, why we read to the kids in a certain way, and they just learn, and it's very interactive. The last time we did it, one of the things that I noticed was the parents started organically talking about autism and identifying characteristics of autism. I think they saw the characteristics that kids there were doing, and I just thought, what a better space for that to happen, and organically and in a safe space, and it wasn't coming from a bad place from one parent to another. It was just very informative.
When families come to the program and they learn about the family literacy services, we create better communities because they learn, they gain confidence. Everything starts at home. When the families come to the events and they get the ideas, they go home and practice all of that. and they help their children with school homework, with reading, with writing, speaking, and all kinds of activities.
California Library Literacy Services staff members are professionally engaged in a culture of giving, sharing, and collaborating. Regional literacy networks and statewide trainings facilitate opportunities to learn together.
Whether it's within our own programs, within our regional networks, or statewide check-ins, we're given so many opportunities to share with each other. Literacy work can be really challenging. We all wear a lot of hats, so being able to share those challenges with your peers almost instantly makes them more manageable. And being able to share our successes with our peers reminds us of why we're doing it all in the first place.
We're very much like, hey, if this is useful, take it, steal it, modify it, use it for whatever, in whatever way makes the most sense for you and your program. So if you need support or help with anything, chances are there's someone else in the network that has also dealt with that issue. And the ability to come together and talk about those common issues and solve them together has been really beneficial.
Being a part of CLLS really has taught me, one, to network, to be resourceful. Everybody is so open. Everybody wants to share their information. Everybody wants every other program to be successful. It's just like learning from one another, understanding the importance of literacy, the impact that literacy has, and just the revolution that we're causing by making sure that people have the resources and the tools to have the education that they need.
I've had an opportunity to realize one of my greatest dreams, which was to make a difference.
This is the first job that has really touched my soul.
It sort of ruined my opportunity to work anywhere else because I don't want to work anywhere else. This is all I want to do.
California Library Literacy Services pioneered the advancement of public libraries as literacy providers. Services for adult learners and their families are co-created, starting with learner goals and aspirations. So too, the shape of statewide literacy programs will continue to be co-created with stakeholders. These voices include learners, library workers, communities, library directors and advocates, the state library, and the legislature. We invite you to join us as we continue to change lives over the next 40 years.